All right, this is a rather very unusual video that I'm making. But the reason why I'm making this video is because, whenever I share any information online, I, try to do my best to make sure that it is authentic. Now, you remember how many days ago? I'm looking at it, few days ago, September 7th. Yeah, that means, oh, yeah, just one day ago. I uploaded the video about Bahrain 15% tax confirmed. Okay. Now, obviously, I'm not a expert in taxation or the logic that goes behind global taxation. Okay. So I have a lot to learn. Just as whatever I tend to know is based on my limited experience. So there are individuals who specialize in certain areas and they know a bit more. And in the case of this individual, Indian, I think he's Indian, he knows quite a lot about the logic behind Bahrain's 15% tax. And he sent me a voice clip which was around 9 minutes. And when I listened to it, I was absolutely blown away as to wow, okay, now it makes sense. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to play his clip. Obviously, I will have to edit his voice because one is he was just speaking on the phone. There was a lot of wind, and obviously, if you have to listen to it and you have to, understand what he's saying, it has to be edited. So in case you find the voice is slightly edited or you see clips in the video that suddenly, oh, he censored something, it is for the purpose of giving you a very clear video. Okay. So what I suggest is listen to this, maybe if you want at 1.5x speed, but it's worth listening to. Okay. So I'll play this video, and the gentleman obviously prefers to remain anonymous. He seems to know a lot about Bahrain, and I'm not going to give out any other details where he lives, what he does, everything else. But he is a very wise man. He is obviously, I think, in his retirement phase. He's twice as old as most of us. So, having said that, let's listen to what he has to say. And in the end, please share your comments and thoughts. And special thank you to this gentleman. Let me first play the audio and see how it sounds. One, two, three, go.
Hi, Aloy. Apologies for the uninvited comment. I watched your video on the taxation in Bahrain. Yeah, the context is a lot more um, deeper. Okay, the OECD, through their initiatives, uh, through many initiatives, are trying to plug the tax loopholes. They call it, um, uh, you know, BEPS, base erosion and profit shifting. It's called BEPS initiative. And under BEPS, there have been a lot of initiatives, and one of them is what is called global minimum tax, which basically means if there is a multinational enterprise which is operating from multiple countries, there is a good likelihood of them shifting their profits to low tax or low tax regimes. And there are many ways companies can do it, though I wouldn't say that everybody tries to do it. Genuinely, if they operate in countries like UAE or Bahrain, any profit that's generated from the operations in these countries earlier were tax-free. But as part of BIPS initiative, OECD decided, and with the help of all the countries, with the underwriting of all the countries, because there are a number of countries which are part of uh, OECD, and there are a number of other countries, more countries, which are signatories to something called an inclusive framework. So even if you're not a member of OECD, you can still be a signatory to the inclusive framework, which is an underlying support for the OECD initiatives. So barring a few countries like Iraq, Libya, and couple of Yemen and countries like that, almost every single country is signatory to the inclusive framework. So OECD's initiatives have the blessings of all the countries that are either developed or developing or wanting to develop. Having said that, the OECD Global Minimum Tax says that if you're operating in a no tax regime or low tax regime, you would in any case pay up to 15% of your profit globally. So if you're paying, let's say, 35% in France, but you're paying no tax in UAE or Bahrain, you would still pay 15% of those profits in those countries at your head office level. So if UAE is not taxing, if Bahrain is not taxing, it doesn't mean the companies enjoy tax-free profits in these regimes. They would in any case pay that 15% global minimum tax in a different jurisdiction. So why should Bahrain or UAE give up on that tax? If they tax at 15%, it will be remaining in the UAE or Bahrain. If they don't, then the companies will in any case have to pay it in a different regime. So by being tax-free, Bahrain and UAE are not really benefiting those multinational enterprises because they have to in any case pay the tax somewhere else. That is why Bahrain decided it is better for us to tax these companies and maintain the revenue within Bahrain than let them pay it somewhere in France or UK or Netherlands. So that is underlying principle as far as the 15% is concerned. So for your information, UAE will also roll out what is called Pillar 2. This is coming under Pillar 2, one of the BEPS initiatives by OECD. So it's nothing surprising. It's definitely not going to impact the multinational enterprises adversely. It's going to help the local economy better. And definitely it's not going to result in any capital flight or companies fleeing these countries. All said and done, countries like UAE or Bahrain in the past, to some extent now, offer a good base for Middle East and North Africa operations. So this is highly beneficial for the local economies and hardly detrimental to the multinational enterprises. That is all it means. And this is not because these countries are running short of money or these countries are going to be making millions of dollars by taxing the multinational enterprises through this initiative. Okay, of course, UAE was aware of it. The global minimum tax has been in discussion for a number of years, and that is why they initiated the 9% tax to start with. And obviously, when the Pillar 2 initiative is rolled out in the UAE, that will also become 15%. It is definitely going to happen. I would expect, because they have circulated some discussion papers, already in the UAE regarding Pillar 2 or global minimum tax. Okay, and more importantly, what is called noon regimes, no or only negligible tax, no or only negligible tax. They are called noon regimes. So the OECD and the European Union don't look at these countries very kindly. So they are putting pressure on these noon countries to introduce some tax because it's not a level playing field if one country is offering tax-free income and all the others are, depending on these taxes. So UAE, in its efforts to globally integrate, decided that in the light of OECD initiative, global minimum tax, and in the light of unfavorable opinion about noon regimes, it is better to introduce some tax and show that we are also part of the globally developed economies. Yeah, that is what I wanted to just share with you. Yeah. understand this a little bit more, because that 15% has got a specific context to it. Okay, thank you. Have a good day, and I wish you good health and speedy recovery. Uh, from whatever, uh, whatever that is bothering you. Take care.
All right. So, uh, I did edit the few parts out where he introduced himself in the end. But having said that, I felt there was a wealth of wisdom. There was a lot of learning for all of us, and at least I learned something new. And yeah, I thought this was very important to share with you guys. So I hope that you learned something. Feel free and let me know what do you think. And if any one of you has, anytime I post a video, if any one of you has like information where you know that this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, or yeah, he can, maybe say this to educate his viewer base, please feel free. I appreciate what this gentleman did much more than these other idiots who just say, hey, what the hell do you know? Ha ha ha, uneducated, just name calling and all that. But that ignorance, arrogance, and stupidity is, qualifies them to be blocked and banned forever. But something like this, I see this man, a wise man, as a teacher, as a leader, as someone who genuinely cares and loves sharing information to help others grow. So, yeah, this was what it was about the Bahrain's 15% tax. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And special thank you to this gentleman. I'll be sharing this video link with him. And yeah, let's hope we get more people like him. Having said that, this is me signing off. You guys take care. Cheerio.